So Jamal Niaz here with the legend herself, Claressa Shields. Savannah invited you way back when you had your fight in Saudi Arabia and you got your win earlier in the year. She invited you to come and witness her MMA debut. You've made the move, you've flown over. How interested are you to see how Savannah adapts to the world of MMA like you have?
Of course, I'm super interested. I think that we're two different type of athletes, but something we have in common is that we are two of the best. I shared the ring with her a couple times, and she's a very strong fighter. But MMA and boxing is like apples and bananas, so I'm looking forward to see how she transitions over.
Do you feel that her power will be something that 𝗟𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘 won't have experienced ever before? Because Savannah has incredible one-punch power, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has a lot of power, and she's bigger, and she might rehydrate to a way bigger size, and she's skillful. She knows how to set up her one-punch shot and land it where it needs to be landed and put girls' lights out. Luckily, I wasn't one of those girls. But yeah, I think the 4-ounce gloves will definitely play in Savannah's favor, and if she's allowed to use her hands, like I'm saying, like just because you know how to punch doesn't mean that your opponent's gonna let you punch them in the face. I asked 𝗟𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘 what her prediction was for the fight, and she did this. She said she want to finish her, like she wants to choke her. I was like, oh, that's a boxer's nightmare.
But Savannah's been putting in the work. She's been training with Andy Aspinall, who is one of the best jiu-jitsu coaches in the sport. He's trained Tom Aspinall, who's UFC interim heavyweight champion. Do you feel like she could have an ace up her sleeve in terms of the ground game? Do you think 9 months is enough time, based on your experience, to be competing with world-class jiu-jitsu practitioners?
Well, 𝗟𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘 is a purple belt, and I think a professional kickboxer champion or something like that. So purple belt isn't that high, but we don't know if she's a very experienced purple belt or if she's just like a beginner one. So either or, in 9 months you can learn a lot, but also too, it's about how much time you put in. So if she's really been working in 9 months consistently, she's learned a lot, but she's still a white belt, and she needs to use what she's good at, which is her hands and possibly her feet, because I think boxers come over to MMA and we don't know that we're natural kickers. So I look forward to seeing that, and I hope that she put the work in, because she's going to need to have put the work in.
I think everyone thought when you were going to be around each other this weekend that sparks would fly and it would get very heated again, but it hasn't. Savannah's got a job to do. I feel like if Savannah gets the job done tomorrow night, then things might get a bit fiery between you both. What's your outlook on Savannah at the moment?
No, we're both competitors, and she do have a different opponent in front of her. A fight with her and I in MMA hasn't been put on paper yet. It hasn't been a date scheduled. It's not something that's in stone yet. I think that when we have stuff in stone and it's a fight that could really happen, and we're getting asked questions and we're giving honest answers about who's the best and why we're the best, that's when things can get heated. But as of right now, and even after she wins, when she wins, I'm going to be happy for her. If she loses, I'm going to be devastated for her. Losses hurt, but also it's about how she wins. So I just look forward to seeing her transition, and I wish her the best. And hey, when it's time for us to fight, we'll fight. I can be cordial with her. We're not best friends or anything like that, but she's a woman that's coming from boxing, and I feel like we always have to continue to prove ourselves, especially in MMA. So if I can come over here and I can win fights, and she can come over here and she can win fights, it makes women's boxing look that much better, which that's what I'm for.
She understands that without a great dance partner in combat sports, it's difficult to have that long-lasting legacy and get those imaginations captured by the fans, because your rivalry with Savannah was one of the hottest rivalries of the last decade in boxing, and probably in combat sports as well. You understand that as well, don't you? That's why I'm guessing you mentioned that you would be devastated for her to lose tomorrow, because you both winning always keeps that rivalry alive competitively?
The rivalry between me and her could never die because it is always going to be a rivalry in boxing regardless. Whether she wins or loses tomorrow, I was going to be devastated for her because losing hurts, especially when you put in a lot of time and you want to win. I think that from my experience, I wanted to win more in my first MMA fight than I've ever wanted to win in boxing. It was because so much was against me and I really was the underdog. Like, for the first time in my life, I was the real deal underdog and everybody saw me as losing. So to come out and win that fight, it felt like winning another gold medal for me. So I can just about imagine that this feels that same way for her. She's fighting main event, her first fight. She's in her hometown of Newcastle. You don't want to lose twice and you're, near your hometown. I beat her in London at the O2 for the Undisputed Championship, and we had 20,000 people there. And then she's going to be fighting here in Newcastle with, I think, 10,000 or 9,000 people there. And you don't want to lose there in front of them either, even though it's MMA, but losing hurts. That's why I said I would be devastated. But I think regardless of whether she wins or loses, we always will be each other's best dance partners. And I think a fight with us is entertaining, whether it's in boxing or MMA. It's always going to be entertaining.
What is your gut feeling prediction for tomorrow night?
Listen, I want her to win. I don't know the girl that she's fighting. I haven't been able to find much footage of her, but I met the girl today, and like I said, I asked her, I said, what's your prediction for your fight with Savannah? And she said, I'm going to finish her, and she showed me the choke. So if this girl game plan is just go in there and just get the takedown, it can be a very difficult night for Savannah, but that doesn't mean that she can't win. She just has to know what to do when she gets taken down, how to get back up, and she has to do what she do best, and that's let her hands go and land those big shots.
Really appreciate the time. Everyone's very excited to have you here in Newcastle, and I hope your paths cross again on behalf of the whole combat sports community.
For sure. Same here. Thank you.